Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So now we're going to install Tailwind CSS. So if you go to the website of tailwindcss.com, I'll leave a link for you guys in the description. So then you're going to click on Docs right here, and then you're going to look for Getting Started and then Installation. So click on Installation. Under Installation, we'll see Tailwind CLI using Post CSS Framework Guides, and the one that we want to click on is Framework Guides right here. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different frameworks right here, and the one that we're looking for is the one that we're working in, Next.js. So click on Next.js, and I'm currently using version 3.0.23, so yours might be a little bit different. So obviously just consult the documentation. So we already created the first part right here. We created our project, so let's install Tailwind CSS. Right, so let's start off with the first command right here. So open up your terminal, this one, and just open up terminal. So as you can see, I got mine open right here. Just give us some room there. So if we copy this, paste it in here, and press enter. So that's installing. Right, so that's finished. So let me just quickly show you. In our package.json, it will create a couple of dependencies. So as you can see, what it will do is it will add Post CSS and Tailwind CSS as a def dependency in our package.json. Right, so the next thing that we have to do now is just open up your terminal again, and then we just want to create our Tailwind config file. So let's just click on this. So config, and then we just press enter. So as you can see, it will create a Tailwind config file right here. So as you can see there, right there, and it will create a Post CSS config file as well. So the one that we're going to focus on is this one right here. So just the Tailwind config file. So minimize your terminal. Right, so the easiest thing to do, instead of just copying this part right here and paste it in there in case you make any mistakes, just copy everything in there and paste it in here, just like that. Right, so all this does is just basically checking under our pages folder. It will check for JavaScript type files, it will check for TypeScript, and it will look for JSX types and for TypeScript JSX. All right, so that is basically what this is. So if you save that now, if you're using, in this case, we got a global CSS file right here. Then you just bring in this right here, a Tailwind like this, okay? Because now our styles is going to be part, if we go to our app.js, you'll see right here, our global CSS. So if we bring that in there in our global CSS right here, so Tailwind is now available. Now the next thing we do is we're just saying Npm Run Dev. So let me just create another terminal, and I'm just going to say Npm Run Dev for local server to spin up. Okay, so let me just click on this and actually open it up right there. Right, so as you can see, we bring in our global CSS right here. So if we go to our index.js under class name, so we don't need any more of the style sheets. Let me just do this. So obviously we're going to get an error. Right, so there's no class names currently. So what I want to do is just want to use Tailwind classes. So I can say font bold, and I can just give it a color. So tags blue of, let's say, 400. And just as you can see, it changes immediately because now we're using Tailwind. Right, so now let's say you don't even want a global CSS file right here. Let me just get some style. Now what you can do is, let's say you don't have this file right here. So what you can do in your app right here. So let's say we comment our global CSS out. As you can see, it affects it right there. So what we can do now is we can just say import. All right, and then we can just say Tailwind CSS / Tailwind .css. If I do that, as you can see, it affects the page immediately. So that's one way. So if you don't want to basically work with a global CSS, let's say you just want to delete your style file, just this folder, all of it immediately, and you don't need it, you can just bring it in like this. But other way you can do it as well is you can basically bring it in via the global style sheet. Okay, that's totally up to you. So as you can see, if we go to the index right here, obviously added a couple of stylings. So I add a section with some padding, and I can even just give it a background of gray and say 400. So as you can see, it affects it immediately. Right. So that's two ways that you can do it. Either directly, so in your C with a Tailwind like this, after you install it, obviously, or you can bring it via the global CSS file. All right, so that's how you can install it and you can do your normal Tailwind stuff. So thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Adios.